Great being with you. Thanks for having me.
With less than an hour left in his presidency, President Joe Biden issued a series of preemptive pardons for his siblings and their spouses. And this comes a little over a month after he pardoned his son, Hunter Biden, after he was convicted on tax and gun charges. What do you make of this 11th hour move?
I mean, I wonder who even did it. This is the president that lacks the mental capacity to be charged with a crime, and yet he can pardon his son and his family members. It really is just outrageous that that is what he's going to make of his legacy. And his legacy is going to be that he pardoned more people than any president in history, that he pardoned his family members, that he pardoned members of Congress that were engaged in political lawfare. I mean, it's really outrageous. But guess what? We're moving on. We are moving on. President Trump is going to save this country, and I'm just so happy to be a part of it.
When you say you're moving on, does that mean that the investigations into the Biden family and their business dealings are over? Because you and I talked in 2023, if you can believe it, almost 2 years ago, about the House Oversight Committee's investigation into the Biden family. What does that investigation look like in light of these preemptive pardons?
So we're not going to stop investigating. We're going to try this in the court of public opinion. We're going to unveil the reason that President Biden pardoned his family. We're going to unveil the reason that President Biden pardoned members of Congress of the January 6th committee that were just engaging in such inappropriate, likely unlawful behavior. So we might not be able to charge them at DOJ, but the American people will know what has happened, and we must do that because it will allow us to make sure it never happens again.
I want to read you what he said his justification for the preemptive pardons were, and I'd like to get your take. He said this, quote, "My family has been subjected to unrelenting attacks and threats motivated solely by a desire to hurt me, the worst kind of partisan politics. Unfortunately, I have no reason to believe these attacks will end." What are your thoughts on that statement?
The fact that this is coming from the man that weaponized the Department of Justice, that raided his political opponent's house in Mar-a-Lago for alleged classified documents when he, as a senator, took classified documents that he had there was no legal argument that he could make, and he had them in his garage in Delaware. This is a man that his own Department of Justice said that he lacked the mental capacity to be charged with a crime. So he weaponized the Department of Justice. He weaponized the FBI. The Democrats weaponized the New York criminal and civil justice system, and the DA in Georgia. I mean, all these people have lost their mind. The Democrats did everything they could to hold on to power, but the American people saw through it. They saw through it. So yes, we're going to move on, but we're going to make sure this never happens again.
What is your take on the idea of a preemptive pardon? Because this is what he also said. The issuance of these pardons should not be mistaken as an acknowledgement that they engaged in any wrongdoing, nor should acceptance be misconstrued as an admission of guilt for any offense. In your view, why give a preemptive pardon if the person has not yet been has not committed a crime, or if you're on the receiving end of a preemptive pardon, why take that if you're innocent?
You don't have to be a lawyer or have experience as a legislator to just know that just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. And, the amount of money that the Biden family got from foreign governments, the amount of money that they got from oligarchs when they have no legitimate business skill set or capacity to engage in any kind of arm's length transaction. President Biden, his legacy is going to be that he was corrupt, that his family took advantage of him, and that his mental decline caused what was a fairly respectable 30, 40 years of public service to be remembered for his last year in office, which, I mean, is just really tragic. But we've turned the page. The American people are going to be okay. We're going to fix the last 4 years. President Trump is going to save this country. And like I said earlier, I'm just excited to be a part of it.